Welcome and good afternoon. My name is Kamish Orr, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the resources and tools that I use when getting ready for historical baseball seasons or looking at past players or looking at current players. So, we're going to walk through those, show you where to find stadium information, show you where to find team color and logo information, and as played lineups, that kind of thing. So, let's have a look. So, starting off, we're going to talk about baseball logos. And the best resource that I've found, I guess I should preface this by saying there are multiple places on the internet to find everything I'm going to talk about today. These are the ones that I've used, and these are the ones that I know of best. But there may be other resources, and if you have some of those resources, leave those down below in the comments. Would love to know if there are other resources that I'm missing. But in terms of baseball logos, sportslogos.net is the place to go. I will leave all of these links down below in the description. You can go here and find any historical logos for Major League Baseball, either Major League Baseball overall, the American League, the National League, the Negro Leagues, or even the Federal League that was in existence from 1914 to 1915. So, for example, if we go to the American League and click on that, we can see here are the current team logos right there for you. If you want to go to teams of the past, here are some historical logos. So you can scroll through here, and if you click on, there's a Kansas City Athletics, for example. But if you click on one of these, like if we click on the Royals here, we can see their logo history year by year. So it tells you what years the logo was active, and it kind of shows you an example of that logo. So if we click on one of these, we can get to a nice PNG file of that logo that you can download. If you scroll down a little bit, there's some of the dark logos that they use. And of course, if you scroll down even further, you can get some of the alternate logos, their ball cap logos, and of course, there's some for sale stuff in here too. Jerseys and hats for sale, that kind of thing. It also shows you their cap history, so you can see how the baseball caps have changed over the years, and even their jersey logos, so you can see how the logo on their jerseys have changed over the years as well. And then down below are uniform histories. So it doesn't look like it goes very far back. This says 1995, so some of the older teams you may not have, but here are some of the jerseys from more recent years, so you can kind of see what the jerseys look like. And again, if you keep scrolling down, you can get certain event logos, like in this case, the World Series was there in Kansas City in 2014, so you can see that logo, and then champion logos, those kinds of things as well. There are just a lot of logos for that team if you are interested. So in this way, whatever season you may be looking for, whatever team you may be looking for from baseball history, you should be able to find their logo on this website, sportslogos.net. Again, I'm going to leave that down below in the comments. So along with logos are the official team colors. And this may be helpful if you are mocking up some graphics, let's say, or in my case, I use BallScore to score my games, and there's a place that you can put in colors for the teams so that it is represented accurately on the score sheets. But maybe you just want to have this. Maybe you want to create your own cards or whatever you may want to do. This is a good site for finding the actual color values for the official colors for the Major League Baseball teams. USATeamColors.com is where you can go. There is once you go there, you'll click on Major League Baseball, and you'll get all of the current franchises here for you to click on. So this is Houston Astros, for example. They give you their primary colors, secondary colors, and they give you the hex color, RGB, CMYK, Pantone, all of that stuff, so that you can you have access to that. They also give you the current logo over here as well. If you just wanted their current logo. The one thing I'll say about the site is this is the current colors. So, for example, if we go to the San Diego Padres, we see it says navy blue. Navy blue and white are the primary colors for San Diego right now, but we know historically they've had the brown and mustard colored uniforms of the past. So if you're looking for past official colors, what I found is if you go to truecolor.net, that's TRUCOLOR.net, you can actually come out here, go to Pro Franchise Baseball, Major Leagues, and then if you select either American or National League, depending on where the franchise is located or which league the franchise is in, then you have access to all of the official colors, all of the official historical colors. So let's actually go over to the National Leagues, just since I mentioned the Padres earlier. Now, one thing I will say is this True Color site's a little slower. Things don't pop up immediately. It takes a few seconds for it to load. So let's go on the San Diego Padres here, and you'll see franchise colors. If we click on that, we have pretty much year by year, unless they changed. So we can see that 2017 through 19 is when they used the navy and white. Actually, even back to 2012, 2011, 2004, navy, sand, sky blue, and white. But if we want to go back to, let's say, the Padres of the 70s, we see Padre brown, gold, and white. These were the colors that you may be familiar with from the 70s, for example. And again, if you click on one of these, it not only shows you the colors, but it tells you all of the hex values and other values to get those colors in whatever graphic program you have that you're using to maybe create whatever it is you're trying to create. Or again, if you're using BallScore like me, there's a place that you can put in the I think the RGB values is what BallScore uses, and you can just plug those right in and get the actual historical colors that you're looking for. So again, this was the franchise active franchises. If you want to go to the historical franchises, you can look down below. There's a whole section of historical franchises for teams that may be moved, and then commemorative stuff as well. So if we go to, let's say, St. Louis Cardinals, you have franchise colors, but you also get jacket and sweater colors, alternate mark colors, venue mark colors, mascot artwork. So you kind of have access to a lot more than just the team colors. You have access to like what coloring they used on jackets, sweaters, commemorative, special uniforms, and that kind of thing as well. What about Ballparks? Well, there are a couple of sites that you can go to for Ballparks. The main site that you can go to if you're looking for just historical information is ballparksofbaseball.com. And once again, if we hover over AL or NL ballparks, we get all of the current ballparks. And so if you go to, let's say, Yankee Stadium here, you can see a picture of the stadium. You can get on the right some facts and figures about the stadium. And then down below, there's a nice write-up, historical write-up that tells a little bit about the history of the stadium itself, any unique features and that kind of thing. And then below that is there may be some videos. There are some stadium photos that you have access to. Really cool stuff. It also has information about past ballparks. So if you want to look at, let's say, Ebbets Field, you can go past ballparks, Ebbets Field, and once again, you have a nice picture of Ebbets Field here. You have some historical facts and figures, including dimensions, when it was demolished in this case, the capacity. And then once again, a nice little write-up here. It also, I found the ballparks have a little memorable moments. So when they host World Series games or All-Star games, other things like that. Again, and then down below that is pictures. So a really cool site. But if you're looking for diagrams, let's say, ballpark diagrams of dimensions, what I found is heading over to Clem's baseball site is a good place to look. So if you head over to, it's Andrew Clem, CLEM.com/baseball, because he has pages about other things as well. But if you head over to andrewclem.com/baseball, and there are a couple of different things you can go to here. Stadium lists is where I generally go. But you can go to franchises too, and there's some information about Negro Leagues and stuff like that. But if we go to the stadium list, we have, here are all of the current stadiums, and here are some past stadiums. And once again, let's take a look at just a few examples. Let's say Fenway Park. We click on Fenway Park, you get a nice diagram of Fenway Park, current as of 2011, which is the last time that it was modified. But if you hover over this dynamic diagram, you can hover over and you can see, if you kind of move your mouse down, either changes in the ballpark over the years. So this is 1912, the dimensions in 1912. 1926, it looks like there were some changes. 1934, 1940. Here's when they had a football field at Fenway. And again, we can continue down until you get 2011, and it looks like there was some hockey played there, some soccer, and that kind of thing. So down below the diagram are some dimension information. Again, this says built in 1912. Here's some dimension information. You see the outfield dimensions. You see wall fence heights out there. And then down below, you get, again, a write-up with changes over the years in the stadium, what changes have been made. And below that, we have access to photos, so different photos of the stadium itself. So that was Fenway. If we go back and we look at a past stadium, I think I looked at Ebbets Field before. Let's take a look at Ebbets Field here. We can see here was 1913 dimensions, 1914, just modified very slightly. And then if we scroll down, we can see the different configurations of Ebbets Field over the years. Again, all of that is just by hovering the mouse and rolling over it. But what I found is if you click on one of these, let's say 1931, you can get a good, you can right click, I believe, and save the image and get a good image of the ballpark diagram here. And again, once again, down below, you can get more information on the stadium itself. So as I said, between these two sites, you can get a lot of access about historical stadiums, see what they look like, see the dimensions, and all of that fun stuff. And could be very helpful for you. All right, so one other place that I want to kind of highlight is baseball as played lineups. So especially if you're doing replays using tabletop baseball games, you may be looking for how to find as played lineups over the years. There's a great site called digidugout.com, and you can go in here and not just get the lineups, but you can get the score sheets, etc., for and download those or print those right off of this site. It's every score sheet from 1906 to 2022, pre-filled lineups and starting pitchers. So all you have to do is come to this site, click on through, and it'll take you right there. So if you click on score sheets, you select whatever date you want. Let's pick a game in, let's say, 1980. And we'll say it looks like the season started on April 9th. Let's say April 22nd. And we'll click OK. Now we have all of the games that were played on April 22nd, 1980. Here are their actual scores, the winning and losing pitchers, any saves. But let's say you want to actually view the lineup. Let's look at, let's see here. Oh, we'll just pick the first one. Chicago at Boston, it looks like. So if you click View Lineups, you get the actual lineup for the White Sox in this game. You click on the Boston tab, you get the actual lineup for Boston along with starting pitchers. And then there's a button down here that says Print Score Sheet. If you print Score Sheet, here is a nice score sheet ready to print out that is pre-filled with the lineups and starting pitchers for you to use. Very, very, very handy site here if you're doing historical replays, not only to see historical scores, but also to get the as-played lineups ready to print right onto a score sheet for you. Very helpful. Finally, we're going to talk about the probably the best and biggest site, baseballreference.com. Baseballreference.com has almost unlimited amount of statistics for any player that played in Major League Baseball, along with Negro Leaguers now. They're getting better at having the Negro League stats added in here. You can find other league stats. I believe there are some other leagues in here too that you can get access to, but we're going to look primarily at the Major League Baseball stats that they have, just because I think they're a little bit more comprehensive. So I'm going to look at a hitter and a pitcher, kind of show you what's available here. And I'm going to pick up Reggie Jackson and take a look at what we have access to. Of course, you can see career stats right at the top. You can see information about him as a player, his height and weight, what he bats and throws, when he was born, his draft, when he was drafted, what high school he went to, that kind of thing. Down below that, the main page shows you year by year, his statistics year by year, any awards, MVP, all-star, game appearances, that kind of thing that he either earned or what place he came in the voting. Down below that, you have even more detailed player batting stats. You can get wins above replacement. You get his salary information, positions that he played, that kind of thing. And then down below that, we have even more advanced batting stats. You get his ratios and that kind of thing here, base running information. And then below that, you get access to all of his postseason batting stats in one place. You can see how he did in the postseason. And again, MVP, you can see he was MVP in 73 and 77. And then his fielding information below that. So you have access to all of his fielding and have access to that. Appearances is a great place that shows you year by year what positions he played. So in 1973, for example, he played 144 games in right field and 1 game in center. He DH'd 3 times. He pinch hit 5 times. He didn't pinch run that year. Anyway, so there's those kinds of appearances. And then below that, there's his appearance on leaderboards, awards, honors, and that kind of thing. So you see Silver Slugger, of course, he's in the Hall of Fame, All-Star Game appearances, awards he's earned, MVP, and then if he's ranked in any of these in a particular year. So home runs, he was first in the AL in home runs in 73 and 75 and 80 and 82. You can see his career ranks. So a bunch of different stats and his rankings in those stats on particular years. If he was in the top 10, I believe, you have access to that. And then if you continue to go down further, you can get his Hall of Fame statistics. So black and gray ink rankings, which you can click on those to find out what those are if you don't know. Similarity scores. So which players is he most similar to? So similar batters. And what players is he most similar to by age? So as he progressed through his career, which other players was he more similar to? You can see a list of transactions again, salary information. This is just on the front page of his just on his front page. So let's look at a pitcher. We'll pick Nolan Ryan here. And again, once again, as a pitcher side, you have standard pitching statistics, year by year, awards, all of that. I'm not going to go through it again. If it's highlighted in gold down here in career, it's an all-time career record. So he leads. Anything in bold, he led the league that year in that particular stat. You get more advanced pitching again, much like we did with the batting earlier. More advanced pitching stats. Once again, postseason. You get his batting statistics for pitchers if they batted. That's down below. Postseason, of course, fielding information, appearances much like before, and then placements on leaderboards and that kind of thing, as you would expect. But the other cool thing is that there are tabs here, as you can see. One of those is splits, so you can go to a particular year. Let's go to 73. And here are his batting splits. So how he did versus right and left-handed pitching. You can see that home and away, first and second half, how he did each month. how he did when his team won and lost, how he did when he was playing different defensive positions, leading off, bases occupied situations, clutch stats, etc., 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 by inning. Very, very detailed. You can also go to game log. I'm going to go to the same year, 73 game log. And here you can see every game, how he did in each game, the date of the game, who the opponent was, what the result was, if he played the complete game or he came out at some point. You get the game log of every game that he played that year, which is pretty cool. Above that, there's a little summary too that has his longest hitting streak, his longest on base streak, most games without a home run, most games without an RBI, most driven in. You can see RBI, how many RBI opportunities he had, that kind of thing. So very, very detailed game log. Now, the pitching game log is a little bit more different, we'll say. I'm going to go to 73 again for Nolan Ryan. And here we have days of rest. How many games did he pitch where he was pitching on 2 days of rest? 4. 3 days of rest, 21. 4 days of rest, 11. So you can see that for the most part, he was pitching on 3 days rest. There were a couple of times he pitched only on 2 days rest, and there were about 11 times he pitched on 4, and a couple of days where he had more rest than that. What about run support per game? How much run support did he have in each game? And again, you have his game log as well, so you can kind of see the outcome of each of his starts, for example. You can see those outcomes there. So again, just a whole wide range of interesting things here. Now, those are player pages. If you go to a team page, we'll go to the Yankees here, you get, first of all, any past franchise names and changes, their career, franchise career wins and loss record, playoff appearances, World Series appearances, retired numbers. You get pictures of the top players here of all time for the franchise. And then you get the franchise information year by year, their record, what the outcome of the season was, the top player, attendance, all sorts of things like that. And if we come back down here, let's say the 1980 Yankees, we'll click on 1980 here. Here is the 1980 Yankees. So here is their entire roster, anybody that played for the team that year. In the top area, you'll get the top players at each position, including DH if applicable. And you can see the stats for each of the top players by position. Same with pitching. You get the top pitchers up above, the top relievers. And if you keep going down, you see games by position for each of the players. You keep going down, you get fielding information. Keep going down, and you can get all sorts of things. Down under other, which I believe you can get to up here. Yes, other, you have batting orders. So I told you there were more than one place to find some of this information, and here's another place to find batting orders. So this shows you the lineup or batting order for every game in that particular season and what position the players were playing. So you have access to that. I'll scroll through that a little bit. Most games, this shows you at a particular position or a particular spot in the lineup, who on the team was in that lineup spot, how many games. So you can kind of see a breakdown. Here are the most common batting orders. So we can see the most commonly used batting orders by the team here in this grid. And it's very easy to just find that access to that stuff. If you click on a particular date, so let's click on this Thursday 4/10. Now we get the box score for that particular game. And if we scroll down to the bottom of the box score, we get the starting lineups for each team as well. So this is a nice little place that you can get the starting lineups and starting pitchers for both teams in a particular day as well. Now you don't get a score sheet to print out here, but you do get access to the starting lineups and starting pitchers. And then there are even down below that play-by-play of the game and the top plays of the game. If there were crucial changes of, changes that happened, these were the top 5 crucial changes or plays that would make or break the game for either one of the teams. So again, just a huge amount of information here. There's players, there's teams, there's seasons, and then there's league leaderboards. You can see the leaderboards for any particular year, career, all sorts of things, playoff information. Baseball Reference just has access to a ton of information. And again, they have access to lineups here too, just not in the nice way that the Digi Dugout has them here, where you can print out box scores. But Baseball Reference, definitely the go-to place to check out if you're looking up historical information or even current information on players, just because there's just so much there. So this, again, is not meant to be the end-all be-all video of all of the resources that are out there or tools that are out there. But I know that sometimes, especially when I was first getting back into tabletop games, having to go track down where to find some of this information wasn't easy. And so I wanted to make this video just for some of you who either may not know about some of these sites, but maybe just save you some time in finding some of this stuff. Or if like Baseball Reference especially, even if you're familiar with Baseball Reference, there's some of these, some of the things that you can find on here that you may not even know were on here, which I think is, some of the things I mentioned hopefully are things that you may or may not have known about. And now at least you know that they're out there to find here on Baseball Reference. So that's where we will end things today. Hopefully you found this information interesting. Again, if you have other resources or tools that you use, I would love it if you would share those down in the comments for other people that may watch the video, and even me, because as I said, this is not meant to be the end-all be-all comprehensive list of all of the tools and resources that are out there, but these are just the ones that I've used when I've been doing looking up information from the past. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and until next time, have a great evening.